bum 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 bum. It's the protagonist seat. Bum ba bum. They watch a lot of anime. They sit in the chair. Yeah. Protagonist seat.
Memes.
Yeah.
Protagonist seat.
Yeah. So that's all the pep you're gonna get from us this week.
That was a bit, and that was a bit that took all of our energy.
All right, so I guess I'm too tired to talk about any of these shows this week.
All right, goodbye. Podcast over. Hope you liked this episode. Like, rate, comment, subscribe, ring that bell.
Yeah, spam our Twitter. There we go.
Suck on our Twitter.
Yeah, suck on our Twitter. Let's talk about the first show that we talk about every week.
There's a can in my way, so I can't read the title.
Oh.
I'm going to say it's That Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime. Am I correct?
Yes, it's almost like you're on this show.
Almost. You know, sometimes I am on this show.
You want to give us a plot synopsis? Because I kind of forget. It was courtroom trial. So
it was Phoenix Wright, the Slime Neme. Basically, picks up right where the last episode went off. The creepy minister dude who was outside shows up in the, I'm going to call it a brothel, because you know what?
It feels like one.
It feels like a brothel.
I think it's like, you know, they're trying to go for like a medieval hostess club.
Yeah, with elves.
Elf!
With glorious, glorious elves. And just the most fan service. But he shows up, and he's all smug about shit, because he's like, hey, I know I gave the dwarf an impossible order, and then the dwarf is like, actually, I filled that today. You want the receipt? And he's visibly taken aback, and he's being all shitty about it.
And he starts making fun of the slime.
Rimuru.
Yeah, he starts making fun of Rimuru and all the other monsters that are there. And the main dwarf guy is not having that, so he goes and decks the minister.
Just punches him out. Just one punch.
And then they all get arrested.
And then they get arrested
Again.
And they go to jail and then go to court. And turns out the minister buys out the, it plays out like a typical injury court drama where he shows up, he's got like ridiculous amounts of bandages on. I think his arm's in a cast.
Yeah.
And he buys out the defense attorney. So the defense attorney is just like, well, as you can see, my clients just came in and assaulted the minister for no reason.
And they plead guilty to all charges.
And meanwhile, the dwarf is like, yeah, he bought out the lawyer. I am not too surprised. And Rimuru is like, what the hell, man?
And turns out the king is the one overseeing the trial, but...
And there's a rule where you can't speak unless spoken to by the king, and the king is having none of this. And he's just like, hey, dwarf, you want to come back into my service? Because we also learned that the dwarf actually used to be a knight captain before Minister Shitbag.
Yeah, got him kicked off the force.
Yeah, because he tried he basically tried to make mecha robot soldiers, and it exploded. And he was like, dwarf friend did it. So he got kicked off the force, and yeah, now
so he gets
where
exiled,
we find that.
And they're gonna go to the Goblin Village now and work on stuff there.
Yep, because he's like, you needed artisans, right? Because I pretty much burned these bridges right here. And there's also a moment where the king it's just him, Minister Shitbag, and like some kind of representative for the king. And he is like, is there anything you want to tell me right now? And he's like, no. And the king says, well, looks like I lost a good minister today. And there's actually kind of a good moment where the minister is like, but, well, I mean, sure, you exiled him, but you didn't have to. You could have sent him into the mines for forced labor.
Yeah, and he's like, no, I'm talking about you.
He doesn't say that, though. He says he's not the one I'm talking about. And there's actually like a minute of silence between them, and you can see the realization come over Minister Shitbag's face, and he's like, no, and he gets exiled too because he's a fucking liar, and the king knows he's a fucking liar, and he's like, I don't want untrustworthy liars in my court.
And that was that episode.
Yep.
I don't know, this show doesn't really do it for me a whole lot. It's not like offensively bad or anything.
No.
I'm just kind of bored most of the time while watching it.
I liked this episode more because something actually happened. But recounting it, it was like not even 5 minutes of plot.
Yeah, I don't know. I need something to happen soon. Like, I need a main plot to kick in besides, let's go get someone to build the goblins' houses.
They're spending...
You know what? I don't like those goblins. Fuck them. I don't give a shit about those goblins. Fuck those goblins.
It's been like 2 episodes since we've even seen a goblin other than fucking Gobta.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know why they're spending so much time on this one plot thread.
Yeah, and I don't care if the goblins have houses.
Yeah, I know he's just gonna leave them anyway. He's gonna leave the goblins, and he's gonna meet the Oni people.
Unless he goes and builds up, and they're just like, we're gonna turn this goblin village into basically a fucking fortress by some point with all the monsters living there.
Yeah, builds up. I mean, that would be kind of interesting if he built up his own army and then, or his own nation, and is like, this is my monster nation.
Yeah, I could see it being like Overlord, but without the like,
just
being bad.
Yeah, it wouldn't be as
It's
good.
Overlord without the rampant murder and slaughter of his enemies.
Yeah, Overlord's real good. Watch Overlord instead.
Yeah, if you're going to watch a isekai with a overpowered main character, watch Overlord.
Yeah, Overlord's real good. I think that's it. I mean, there's not a whole lot else to talk about.
Yeah, we need more to happen.
Yeah. So next on the list is a personal favorite, Goblins Slayer. This episode was dope as heck. And if you would like, I will let you give us a summary for this one.
Sure. So in this episode, not much really happens, but you get a little bit of a bunch of character moments with everybody, sort of. You almost see Goblin Slayer go about his day.
Yeah.
And just run into everybody and sort of kind of get pulled into a bunch of things. Guild Girl, for example, she's doing I guess it's sort of a meeting they have to have with an adventurer every time they go up a rank.
Yeah.
And he just needs to be there as an overseer because he's a silver rank, so he's a high-ranking adventurer.
This one, he's actually getting demoted because he's a fucking scumbag.
This guy's a dick who basically goes and sneaks ahead, steals treasure, and doesn't share it with the group. Like
a true tool.
She even says, you're one of the reason rogues and scouts get a bad name.
Yeah, because he is. He buys, like, new boots that are custom fitted with it. And he doesn't like that because she tells him, basically, we're going to demote you back to porcelain rank, and also you can't adventure with this city anymore. So, see ya. And he gets real pissed about that. And he's like, Goblin Slayer, you're a fellow adventurer. And he's like,
I'm just here as an overseer.
Yeah, I'm literally just here. Also, you tricked your own party, and that's kind of shitty.
Oh, and we get a subplot this episode of 2 porcelain-ranked adventurers, this guy and this girl, trying to do a sewer dungeon where they fight rats and bugs.
Yeah.
And the guy gets his sword stuck in one of the rats, and they have to retreat. And so the whole episode is him trying to figure out what to do to get his sword back.
Yeah.
And it kind of just is him going to talk to everybody. He's just talking to everybody, and they're just, oh yeah, I can lend you a weapon, but mine are super high level, and you won't be able to use them.
Yeah.
And then until he finally talks to Goblin Slayer, and Goblin Slayer just tells him, use a club.
Yeah, why don't you just get a club?
Just smack him.
A club? And he's like, well, they're not goblins, but I'd imagine if you hit them hard enough, they'll die.
This whole episode was Goblin Slayer forced to deal with things that are not goblins.
Yeah. I kind of think that's the funniest part.
I loved the scene where Guild Girl's trying to talk to him, and she goes, Goblin Slayer, and he's like, is it goblins? Well, no, I'm leaving.
Oh, yeah, because she's asking him to be the overseer, and he just immediately turns to walk out the door.
And she even says, she's like, does it have to be goblins? And he even gives a sigh, just, fine, what is it?
We do also have concrete confirmation that Guild Girl is crushing on our GS man.
Oh, of course, it's a harem. They all like him.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty obvious from, like, the first episode.
Probably everybody is in his harem that we've seen so far as the girls go, besides the overly sexy mage woman that just speaks in ASMR.
Yeah, she is real weird to listen to, because she sounds ASMR-y. Her words are just dripping with seduction. And she actually pulls a candle out of her boobs, because she's like, and she's digging around there for a while, so she must have a lot of stuff stuffed in her shirt.
Nope, is this? Nope. Maybe it's over here.
More scrolls leading to the bottom of the ocean. No. Oh, here it is. The candle that glows brighter depending on how close you are to what you're looking for. Here. You could use it, or you could sell it for cash and buy a weapon.
Yep, and she doesn't care. She's just being nice.
Yeah.
I wonder if she talks like that all the time.
I think she does.
Even if they're in the field, like, wow, there's a lot of zombies here we have to fight.
Man, magic is real good.
We better use a really powerful spell here.
I'm just waiting for mouth sounds at this point.
And she travels around with the spear guy.
Yeah. Who is kind of I had the impression that he was kind of like a douchey, high-ranked adventurer. But this one, he wasn't, like, all that bad.
Yeah, he wanted to help out the, like, low-B guy, but obviously the low-B guy couldn't use any of his high-level magic weapons.
Yeah, my weapons are probably, like, way too... Sorry, dude, but my weapons are probably way too heavy for you to use. And you know what?
I don't know if we're going to see those two anymore, though. That would be interesting.
I kind of hope so.
Just these two low-rank adventurers.
I like seeing the low-ranked adventurers doing shit.
I think those were the same people in the second episode where it showed a party that went out and didn't get fucked.
I don't know if it was them or there's I think it's episode 3 or 4, the one where everyone shits on him. And there's those two low ranks that are like, oh, that's Goblin Slayer.
Yeah, that's them. That's them. That's right.
All he does is slay goblins. Because at one point in the episode, they go to Guild Girl and they're like, how do we slay rats with no weapons and we don't have money? And she's like, I don't know. Talk to Goblin Slayer. And they're like,
Yeah, we were kind of rude to him before. Oh, that's okay. He doesn't really care about that sort of thing.
He doesn't care. And it's great, because he doesn't. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He just gives advice.
And Priestess got promoted.
Yeah.
She got promoted from porcelain to obsidian, I think.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. Like, I couldn't really tell based on what color it was, and I don't know the rankings well enough myself. Ooh,
yeah.
A wild kitty mitty has appeared.
Oh, kitten mittens.
But, yeah, I like the show.
Yeah.
I like the characters.
We actually didn't see a lot of his party.
No.
Yeah, because they only showed up for one scene to ask him if he...
had cheese.
Yeah, had cheese and might want to go on another adventure, because obviously Elf's kind of crushing on Goblin Slayer.
Elf is very clearly... Elf Ranger is clearly crushing on Goblin Slayer. And
Dwarf's just like, why didn't you just ask him if he wanted to come?
Yeah. I like their dynamic. I like that little group's dynamic. Mm-hmm. And I really like Lizard Man is how much he loves cheese. Dude just fine. Dude really loves cheese. He shows up and he's like, Goblin Slayer, could I possibly ask you to give me more of the item? And Goblin Slayer's like, what are you talking about?
At first when he asked for that, I thought, oh, he's probably going to be asking for one of those scrolls.
Yeah.
Nope. Cheese. And he gives him a whole wheel.
He gives him a whole wheel of cheese, and it's just like, yeah, you can pay for this at the guild.
But yeah, that for this week, it was a slow episode.
Yeah, but still good.
Yeah, it had some good stuff in it.
I think it's a well-written show. I think they've written all of their characters very well.
It plays with the RPG world stuff nice, where it's just, it's the guild town. It's where all the player characters
all
are.
The PCs go to LFG.
Yeah.
Need healer, Blackwell Mines.
Looking to buy short sword.
Yeah. LFC chainmail vest, have mats. So, next up
is Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai.
I like it.
I've been enjoying it lately.
I enjoy the show.
Because Kick My Ass Kohai is best girl.
Kick My Ass Kohai is best girl.
And best girl never wins.
Best girl never wins. Because our main Rascal, his heart is too intertwined with our Miss Mai. And he's ever faithful, even though he still pretends to be your girlfriend for a semester.
Anyway, the plot of this one is he, in the last episode, agreed to be his Kohai's fake boyfriend.
And he learns that Jerkemeyer, the dude that...
Yeah, the basketball club guy, turns out he's spreading a bunch of rumors about his Kohai because she wouldn't end up dating him, and she ended up fake dating the protagonist. He basically sent out a bunch of rumors around the school that she's easy.
Yeah, they have a lot of sex.
Which, yeah, this is a Japanese high school.
Yeah, but it did make me chuckle a little bit just because of the cultural differences.
Yeah, so he ends up...
He fucking fights him.
Yeah.
He actually fights this man.
Also, yeah, this guy's in the basketball club, and he fucks him up.
He fucks the shit out of him. Cause I forget who it is, but someone's like, yeah, he asks.
Oh yeah, we should probably specify the main character fucks up the basketball club dude.
Yeah. Our big buddy Rascal, cause naturally he's like, I gotta fight this dude, but like he's gonna kick my ass if I just straight up fight him.
So he kicks him in the knee.
Yeah, he goes to our favorite advice-giving science girl, who is like, well, if you're not going to beat him physically, beat him with your mind, which I guess means...
Beat him physically, but just fight tactically?
Feint a punch to his head and then just kick him in the knee and make him go down. And then kick him in the face
and tell everyone, oh, I had poop on my shoe.
Yeah.
And everyone will now be like, he's not cool anymore. He's got poop on his face. He's a literal poopy face.
And it totally works 100%.
And because everyone was like, oh man, that's so cool, Kick My Ass Kohai is now, instead of just fake dating him, it seems like she wants to actually date him.
Yeah, now she's for real crushing on him.
But she knows he's already in love with his senpai.
Yep.
Because there's a scene at the end of the episode where she's doing her homework all happy, but then she looks at her phone and one of the advertisements Maya's in, and she looks kind of sad at it.
Yeah, she gets all sad.
Oh, and Mai at the end of the last episode ended up going over his house, and he explains to her everything, how he has to fake date his Kohai. And she's cool with it.
Yeah, she's real cool with it.
Because he brings up his sister and how she was bullied, and she's like, well, now I can't be mad at you because you brought up your sister.
Yeah. And then she goes to film another ad in another town. And they actually have a really nice scene that I liked. I thought it was kind of heartwarming, where she calls him, and they just have a conversation. They're just talking to each other.
I noticed, though, at the end of the episode, he didn't answer the phone for her, so
yeah,
she's probably going to think, oh, what's going on with that? Because we still got one more episode, I think, left of Kick My Ass Kohai's arc.
Yeah, and then we get Science Girl arc.
I think it's going to be Science Girl. She's going to have an arc at some point. I just don't know if it's going to be the next one.
Well, they're setting up pretty hard for it, because I think they're doing the same thing they did with Kick My Ass Kohai, where she shows up a couple episodes before the end of that arc.
Yeah, so she can smoothly transition into being the subject of the next one.
Yeah, because we have established that smart science girl really likes best friend main character, who we really haven't talked about because he's just kind of there.
Yeah, so I don't get the appeal of him.
He just seems like a nice guy who just kind of shows up and is nice at times.
He seems like he doesn't have a lot going on up there. He's just a nice guy. Like,
yeah.
Hey, how you guys do? Yeah. Hey, how you doing? Anyway, I gotta go to class. What's one of these buildings? I know it's gonna be one of them. I just can't find it.
Best friend also has bitchy girlfriend.
Yeah, the one that the main character always gets bitched out at by, but always comes up with a smarmy comeback.
As he always does. But she continues to be like, don't hang out with your best friend because he's my boyfriend. And he's like, that's stupid. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, are you on your period?
Are
you
constipated? Are you constipated? And she gets huffy and storms off, and he's like, you should eat some fiber. I did enjoy that. So I'm sensing a love triangle where that's going to be the next thing, because she's going to be like, oh, I like him, but he's got a girlfriend, so I can't confess my feelings.
What magic adolescent syndrome thing that Science Girl ends up creating.
Yeah,
because Mai turned invisible. Well, not even invisible. Mai wrote herself out of existence.
Yeah.
And Kick My Ass Kohai would...
she went Groundhog Day.
Yeah, she went Groundhog Day.
So I'm curious to see where Smart Girl Coffee Science goes. I'm glad this show really shaped up.
Yeah, it picked up. It's like Monogatari, which I see everyone saying. Obviously, I don't like the protagonist as much as Araragi. That wasn't his name. It's just...
It's memes.
It's Araragi.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Because he was a cool character, because you'd have to watch it.
Yeah. It's on my... I'll put it on my list of things I'll definitely have to check out at some point.
The funny thing is, though, I don't really love Monogatari.
You just like the main character?
Yeah. Because he gets... It's the same thing. He gets with the first girl right away. And
then he goes around helping the other girls.
Yeah, it's a Shaft show, though. Like a Studio Shaft.
Yeah.
So, I've never actually really liked Studio Shaft. Like, I like Madoka and stuff like that, but I get kind of tired of their just, oh, look at how wacky our background art is.
Yeah.
Look at our just our weird editing style. Like, oh, it's zoomed up on his eyeball for this one dialogue scene, and then it, like, cuts to his ankle.
It's the opposite. I would say it's the opposite of Iroduku, which is very artfully shot.
Yeah. But Shaft always feels artsy-fartsy to me.
Not in the good way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the show.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Next up, we've got personal breakout star MVP of the season.
Zombieland Saga. Nice bird.
Oh, God, I love him so much.
Yep, in this episode, they shoot a commercial for a chicken place, and then they participate in some sort of...
It's like a weird kind of Wipeout-esque local contest that they have every year.
And apparently all these things were both really popular during Saki's time period, and they are not popular currently.
I actually meant to look these up earlier and see if they were like actual things that are real, but I forgot to do that because I just got busy. But I liked this episode a lot. We get a lot of... This was the first...
I like how basically the whole time Saki is pumped.
She is amped as shit.
She is fucking pumped.
She's like, let's do this. When are we doing this? Tomorrow? And then they just scream in excitement at each other.
Put me in that fucking chicken costume.
I'm hyped. Give me some of that chicken. Give me some of that sweet chicken. But they shoot the commercial. There's a dude in a chicken costume that for a little bit, I actually believe, like, that's not going to be a dude in a chicken costume, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's gonna
it looked
be
like a real-ass chicken.
That's just going to be like a weird mutant chicken.
But it was a guy in a costume.
It was, because Ty bites the butt off of the chicken costume, and we see striped boxers. Because everyone in Japan wears striped boxers for some reason. Yeah. It's a very common thing.
Although, yeah, I guess everyone in American media, it's always whitey tighties.
Yeah, that's true.
But, yeah, and then when they're at the X Games, the X Games.
The X Games.
They all fall in the mud, and then they try to wash off the mud, and they realize they washed off their makeup, so they're all zombies, so they have to stay covered in mud the entire event.
Yeah, this is a problem, because they enter this contest for publicity, but they can't get publicity because they muddy up their t-shirts. However, they realize at one point that Ty is wearing 2 t-shirts because she actually rips the first one. Turns out that's the chicken one. They got a chicken t-shirt from the first episode. So
nice bird.
Nice bird.
And the whole episode, not too much happens, but we see this guy who's I think he's a detective or something for the police, and he ends up he looks at the girls and he goes, I know that girl.
Well, I think that dude is actually a talent scout for Idols.
I thought they mentioned he was, they mentioned something about a detective or something.
I don't think, well, the cop shows up.
Yeah, the cop shows up, but that actual guy where I thought, oh, maybe this guy was working on, like, he was a police officer, you know, he worked on one of the cases where these girls died, and he just was like, damn, that is a real meat pile right there. Ugh, that is a messy one. I
know he focused in on Junko, so there's something to do with her.
Yeah, because I guess maybe this is going to be the main plot besides them screwing around.
Yeah.
Them trying to someone knowing that, hey, these girls are dead.
Yes, that girl died.
Which, realistically thinking about it, yeah, that might become a problem trying to bring back dead idols to revive your idol group.
Yeah, because there's a couple of them that are fairly well known.
That's like me trying to, all right, I made a band. I got David Bowie, Michael Jackson, and Prince. And I got them all in a band together. I brought them back from the dead, but no one's going to have to know.
We're going to give them numbers as names, so that's fine. We'll just know them by the numbers.
Yeah,
no one will know the difference.
No, like, Michael's changed his appearance so much, no one will
know. Yeah, I think it makes sense to bring in some sort of larger danger to the group instead of just like, they fucked things up this time.
And then I want to see how Necroducer has a contingency.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I also like how, remember in the previous episode when he was explaining the business stuff, and to keep the lady from looking out the window, he grabbed her by the chin. He's like, let's talk business. And then he did the same thing to the dude at the chicken place.
He seduces the dude at the chicken place to get started. There's so many running gags, and they're amazing, and I love them all.
Yeah, that's what I like about this show. Consistency in the running gags.
Yeah. The one thing that I'm unclear on is Ty awakened yet, or is she
No, she's still a zombie, but for some reason they're just able to coordinate her.
Yeah, because she follows directions very well, but she still has like that animalistic instinct.
She's gone less zombie, more animal. It's weird.
Yeah,
because there'll seem to be times where she's trying.
Yeah,
like she's mentally aware of what she wants to do but can't do it.
Because in this episode, she's trying to sing, but all she can do is just. And then the director is like, all right, that was good. Let's try it again, but with less of the.
And they basically just have her do the chicken scream at the end because they realize that's the only part she could probably do effectively.
Yeah, because Ty can't do vocals.
Just the.
And then she attacks the chicken man. Because Sakura is like, just imagine eating the chicken. And she looks over at him and just bolts and just goes towards him. And during the X Games part,
she fell apart.
Yeah, they have like a Tarzan mud swing thing, which everyone is terrible at. And she wins. But she flies apart in the air.
Oh, and the courtesan lady never even went in the mud. She just did like a stripper pole thing.
She gets the highest score, but she doesn't even leap off the rope. She just like does artful dancing and gets 5 points across the board.
Yeah, the show's been good. It's always been good. I've enjoyed it.
It's a very enjoyable show.
Every episode, there's something. I did think this was one of the slower ones, but even then, there's something.
It was. But it's very, it's entertaining to watch. So even though it's slow, it's not hard to watch. It's not painful.
Yeah.
It's just like, there's something you can enjoy.
Speaking of something you can enjoy.
Miss Vampire, who lives in my neighborhood.
Ellie's still the worst character, but it was better than last week because she didn't get the whole episode to herself.
Yeah, I hate Ellie, and I'm glad that they don't focus entire episodes on her all the time.
Yeah, because she's not great.
Yeah, it's not fun to watch. But this one, they do some shit. They do another sleepover.
That seems to be the main thing they do on this show.
They do a lot of sleepovers.
I get because they're vampires, so a lot of it has to be during night.
Yeah, because there's not like too much variation with what you can do in the day.
Yeah, the A plot is they're having a sleepover, and Ellie meets Akari's best friend.
Yep.
And they don't get along at first because Ellie's an immature child who's, even though she's 450,
she's still just a kid.
Yep.
And
it's annoying.
And Akari's friend has boobs, and she's jealous.
And, yep, a lot of chest envy in all these shows.
A lot of chest envy.
And the B plot is Sophie wants to cook.
But she's a vampire.
So she doesn't eat food, so she's real bad at it. So she gets Akari's friend to help show her how to cook.
And it takes a long time. There's a lot of attempts at cooking. And a lot of times it turns out purple until they're just like, fuck it, we'll make some rice balls.
Yep, turns out purple and gross.
Yeah. I think they make curry.
And part of the ingredients for curry is garlic.
Oh, yeah.
So Sophie has to put on a hazmat suit.
She puts on a full hazmat suit and just gets real close to Akari's friend. And it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I like the B plot better than the A plot this episode.
Me too.
Probably because, again, less Ellie.
Yeah, it had a larger impact on me. But it's still just, I'm enjoying it. I like how all the characters besides Ellie interact.
I liked at the end of the episode when Akari comes home and actually is trying the curry, and she's like, this is really good. By the way, why are you in the doorway?
Yeah.
And she's like just peeking in from the outside.
Because she still wants to know, but garlic's a hazard. And then Ellie comes in and is like, oh no, garlic, and runs away.
And I'm like, good. Line the place with it.
Stay away. Place it in front of the doorways.
Get out of here, worst character.
Cover the house in crosses.
And that was basically all that happened.
Yeah.
That's just how the show goes. It's got its little A plot and its little B plot. But you know what? I like having the A and B plot because last week all we had was just the A plot.
And it was all Ellie.
And it wasn't good.
It was terrible. And I hope they never do that again.
No.
It's fine to introduce a character and give them an episode. But this character was bad. And that means the whole episode is bad.
Exactly. Because she's really annoying.
Yeah. She's like, I think it's because she's kind of in a weird middle place where they want her to be like the vampire friend who's like super into being a vampire and like drinks people's blood and doesn't know anything about technology. But I don't think they went far enough with that because she's
just kind of this annoying character that comes in and she's like they took the worst parts of Akari and Sophie and mixed them together in one character.
Yeah.
Like she took the pervertedness of Akari and just amped it up to 11.
Yeah. And she's just, like, none of her scenes are really fun to watch. And it's just, I wish she would go away, but something's going to tell me she's not going to go away.
Nope, she's in the intro as one of the main 4. So she's staying.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a trend where the ones that have a lot of Ellie focus are not going to be good, but there's going to be a B plot that maybe focuses on some other characters, and that's going to be enjoyable.
Because I like the ones we already had. I like the 3 we had before. I even like the other kids at school.
Yeah, I would like to see more of them in future episodes, because I thought they were, strangely enough, these minor characters we haven't seen in a while.
It was fine where it was. Why'd they change it?
They didn't have to change it. But they did, unfortunately. So, that's Miss Vampire who lives in my neighborhood for this week. Now we get to move on to something that is all around amazing.
JoJo, we meet the boys.
We meet the boys.
And we get that piss drinking.
It's real good.
And by JoJo logic, that somehow worked. I turned one of my teeth into a jellyfish because they're absorbent.
And the jellyfish absorbed all of it.
I don't think it works that fast.
It doesn't. And I was a little bit like, doesn't that mean you just drank it anyway? Now it's just like in your tooth?
Because you can't take out your tooth.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but I don't think you're going to do that.
He's not going to do that. So there's some flaws with this plan.
I do like the boys, though.
The boys are pretty good.
I like how in the first scene you see 2 of them studying together, and then the one who's teaching the other one, he's like, hey, is this right? And he looks at it, and it's completely wrong. It's like 66 times 14, and the answer was like 28.
Yeah.
And he grabs a fork and stabs him in the face. And he's like, are you screwing with me?
Are you stupid, you stupid idiot?
And he pulls a knife on him, and they both look like they're about to go at it until Bruno gets back.
It's just, it's a good intro for these characters, because as soon as I saw them starting to interact, I was like, yeah, these guys are criminals. Mm-hmm. These guys are bad people.
I think my favorite interaction in the entire episode was when they were on the boat, and Mista, because I remember his name, Mista. Yeah. I'm just going to call him for right now because I forget his name. I think it's Narnacia.
Oh, Narancha.
Narancha. He's there listening to his stereo, and it's really annoying.
Yeah.
So Mista's like, hey, can I have a soda? And he's like, yeah, sure. He's like, do you want cola or Sprite? And he's like, Sprite, because it's clear.
It's not Sprite, it's Sprite.
Yeah, Sprite, because it's clear.
Yeah.
He's like, can you hold this for me? And he has him hold his magazine while he opens it, and while he's not looking, he pours the Sprite on his boombox, and then he's like, thanks, takes it back. And then he goes back to trying to listen to his boombox, and he just sees that it's not working. Aw, man.
I just bought this yesterday.
That old man's gonna pay for selling me junk.
Oh yeah, Mista also has a weird thing with the number 4.
Yep.
He hates it. It's unlucky, and he doesn't like it. He freaks out because the waiter brings over 4 slices of cake.
I like the scene where, I forget his name, but the long-haired dude voiced by Archer from Fate Stay Night.
Yeah.
He goes over, and he's complaining about the 4 slices of cake, and he just grabs one almost to make it easy on him. Like, there are only 3.
Yeah, this is fine. I took 1, now there's 3, just whatever.
But he doesn't even say anything about it. He just does it.
Yeah. It's so well written. I like these characters. It feels like they've been together for a long time.
Yeah. It's not like you have to get used to it.
Exactly. It's just, it is. We come in, and it is.
This is a pre-established group of friends that Giorno is joining.
Exactly. And it's kind of awkward. People are like, just kind of bringing in this new guy into our dynamic.
And the whole plot of this episode is, we mentioned the last one, Giorno basically killed Popo.
Yes, and everyone is freaking out because they're like, man, Popo killed himself.
Because Popo was a big capo, and everyone knows he had a lot of money stashed away, and turns out the person he trusted most to hide that money was Bruno Brucherity.
Yes.
And it seems to be there's a group of gangsters that know Bruno was the one that was going to be the person Popo would go to hide the money. And while they're on the boat, people start going missing.
Yes. Narancha is pulled into a drain, and then Mista goes around a corner to investigate like the cabin, and he's fucking disappears. And Bruno, long-haired man, and Giorno.
Oh, and then the other guy gets I forget his name. The guy with a bunch of holes in his clothing.
Oh yeah, that dude. He also goes missing. He's just at another point that just goes missing.
JoJo's the only series that can get me pumped for a Monster of the Week show or a Villain of the Week.
Yeah.
Where it's just one. You know they're gonna beat this guy because they just fight a guy, and then next week it's a new guy.
Exactly.
But for some reason, they always build up the hype for it. Where I'm like, yeah, let's go, let's have a stand battle. What's this guy's stand do?
Because there's a moment where they're just all the three remaining guys are just on the boat, standing back to back, like, holy shit, we're under attack. What do we do?
And the long-haired guy, because Brucherity mentions to him, hey, your stand actually could be really good in this situation. But he doesn't want to reveal what his stand does because he doesn't believe he can trust Giorno yet.
Yes.
So Giorno goes, hey, your stand's actually that good and it can win this for us. Okay, if you don't trust me, so you can, because you don't want to use it in a place I can see it, he just runs out and goes to throw himself at the enemy, so he'll just get captured too.
Yes.
So he can basically open it up for the other guy to use his stand.
Yeah.
Which basically makes the other guy respect him because he's like, Giorno Giovanna, you're crazy.
I like that.
Yeah.
You're a one crazy son of a bitch.
You're one crazy bastard.
And that's where it ends. So next episode, we're going to get the stand battle. We're going to find out what long-haired man's stand does, and we're going to find out what the enemy stand does, and we're going to watch them fight. And it's going to be real cool because it's JoJo, and that's what they do.
JoJo!
JoJo! So I'm excited for next week.
Yeah. Always excited for more JoJo.
Always excited for more JoJo.
You know what else I'm always excited for?
Are you going to say Double Decker, Doug and Kirill?
Double Decker, Dub and Kirill. It's a trap edition.
Me too. This episode was real good because we meet, or actually, first, they do cops.
Yeah, they literally do cops. There's a show that Kirill, I guess, is a big fan of that they end up on. But obviously, since they're special detectives, their faces are blurred out and their voices are blurred.
Yeah.
And they're basically called just to hear the ramblings of a drunk guy because he may or may not have information on Esperanza.
Yeah,
the Anthem terrorist organization.
The cops were like, we think this dude is just like a random drunk, but just in case he's not, can you guys come down and interview him?
And it's kind of a long scene, and it got annoying a little bit because the voice modifier on the drunk guy was real annoying.
Yeah. But I did like
a Japanese Alvin and the Chipmunk.
Yeah. I did like how Doug is like, I did like how the drunk is trying to figure out what the group name is, and Doug's like Esmeralda. And the guy's like, yeah, Esmeralda. I'm one of the head leaders of Esmeralda.
And then they basically realize this dude's blowing smoke.
Yeah, this dude's full of shit. And he gets yelled at by his wife later.
And that was basically it. And then Kirill wanted the episode taped because he was so excited he was on his favorite show. Even though his face is blurred out and his voice is masked.
And he watches it like 1,000 times.
Then he sees something weird in the video. His sister.
Yes.
And he goes to see Doug, and Doug looks all tired because Doug's been looking at the videos all night, and he's like, Doug, you saw it? Yeah, I saw it. You did too?
Subnote, Doug did not see it. Doug saw something else.
And the narrator even tells you they are not talking about the same thing.
I love running gag of Kirill and other sub-character do not understand the same situation.
And the best scene is when they're about to bust in on a criminal.
Yeah.
And Kirill looks at Doug and he's just,
what do I say?
What do I say to them when I see them? And Doug looks super confused. The same thing as always.
Same thing as always.
Yeah. I guess I'll just act natural.
Thanks, Doug. And Doug's like, what the fuck?
Thank you for doing this. Thank you for doing this for me. I didn't do it for you.
Just like an asterisk at the bottom. It's his job. So good. And then they bust in, and Kirill is naturally mortified to find this like skeevy drug dealer dude that they're arresting. And then they arrest him, and they meet up at, where else? Derek's bar.
Oh, but he does mention to Doug about his sister,
yes.
And then they do take a look at the cameras, and they mention it to the doctor guy.
Yeah, Dr. Apple.
Yeah, they mention it to Dr. Apple, and he's like, okay, I'll take a look. And then they go to Derek's bar, where they're all chilling out.
And they do shit on Dr. Apple for his creepy surveillance software.
Yeah. They're hanging out at Derek's bar, and Derek introduces his new employee, and
who could that be?
Surprise, surprise! It's Kirill's sister.
She just like.
And then the second she opens her mouth, and you go, "Oh, that's voiced by a man."
Yeah, that's a dude.
Yeah, that's totally gonna be a dude.
I liked this particular reveal because they're talking about it. They spend some time talking about it with Kirill, and he's like, but at least I know she's out there. And I can go find her. And then Derek's like, oh yeah, I hired a part-timer. And she just fucking walks in. And everyone's like, oh.
And she apologizes to Kirill. And he said, it's okay. You can tell me when you're ready.
Yeah.
And then they go to the bathroom. And
they go to the same bathroom.
Yeah. Dr. Apple comes in. And he goes, guys. Listen, I found something out about Kirill's sister. I watched the surveillance footage, and she went into the guy's bathroom.
And everyone's just like, why were you watching the bathrooms? He's like, no, it's not like that. I was doing surveillance.
And then Kirill's in the bathroom taking a piss, and then he looks over and sees his sister at the urinal next to him.
This one did not surprise me because naturally
she is voiced by a man.
You hear her talking, and it's like, that sounds like a man. She's probably a man.
And then she looks at Kirill and goes, I'm sorry. I wanted to tell you, but I just couldn't. And I thought to myself, why was that a thing? Why did you have to fake your own gender from your younger brother?
Yeah, I don't understand that either.
Yep, so Kirill's sister is his brother.
Yeah, but he found his brother.
Yep, he found his brother.
So that whole mystery is done with. We've solved it in like one episode.
Which makes me believe, all right, Double Decker is probably going to be a 13-episode show and not a 26 show.
Yeah. I do think
it's 24.
I do think it's kind of funny because it feels like the writers were like, yeah, we'll write out and we'll have this mystery. I don't feel like writing that out. Let's just fucking have the sister
It is kind of funny because it reminds me how they treated the whole Derek thing.
Yeah.
Where they built it up like he was Doug's old partner and he died during a job. And he's fine. He's not dead. He's retired.
Yeah, he got shot and he was like, yeah, I think I'll just go open a bar. And that
serves canned food.
Yeah, that serves canned food and real bad drinks and is not popular for a very good reason. Like
basically, the only people that go to his bar are his old coworkers.
Yeah. And he tells them that he hires a part-timer, and they're like, how do you afford that? No one ever shows up here.
And I'm assuming Kirill's brother had a run-in with the law or something, or it probably has something to do with, like, Esperanza.
Most likely. I do feel that there's some sort of plot significance with him.
Yeah.
But we will wait and see.
We will see what happens to Kirill's brother.
Yep.
Kirill's sister brother.
Kirill's sister's brother.
Kirill's sister's brother.
Who is also himself.
Who is
not Kirill.
Yeah. Good show.
Good shit.
Good shit.
I love this show a lot. It's just so much fun. It's just fun. I want to see more gags. I want to see it. But we must move on
to Hinamaru Sumo.
I gotta say, I kind of like this episode. I kind of like the sumo in it. Because they do more training, but it's not like what we've seen so far where it's just like static reaction shots.
Yeah, no, in this one, we actually get to see them have... We get to see actually a variety of different fights where the MMA guy goes up against another MMA guy.
Yeah, he goes up against someone who's basically himself.
Yeah, he goes up against himself. And Hinamaru actually isn't a part of this episode, really.
I feel kind of bad because, like, I liked this episode and I liked more of the sumo in this episode.
And the main sumo guy was not in this episode.
Yeah, because it wasn't all, like, weird special moves. It was just...
Oh, I do have a comment on a special move, though, where Thickest Boy ends up going against the other school's Hinamaru, basically their best guy.
Yes.
And he ends up doing pretty well, but then the other guy does a special move where it's like a crescent moon thing. Yeah. All he does is slide to like the left. There's no technique. It's just a slide.
Yeah, it is basic Judo 101, using your opponent's momentum against them, and he uses that to flip him. And I kind of feel like the super special moves are the weakest part.
I actually feel like they make it worse because they try to make it seem more interesting than it is instead of just playing it straight.
Yeah.
In fact, I would like it if they actually sort of kept the whole sumo fight in motion instead of just cutting around and then just to an occasional super move where it actually shows what two bodies pushing against each other in the ring would look like.
Yeah, because we get to see Delinquent Man fight someone, and I actually liked it a lot because earlier in the
he's not good at the sort of grappling, but he's got a good sort of hook.
His palm is very good.
So he's basically told by the coach, just keep palming the guy in the face, and you'll push him out.
Focus on that. And earlier we see him actually, like, that's his training, is he's practicing by palming on a ping pong ball. And he references that in the fight. He's like, wow, my palms really have like gotten better.
But it turns out that's not enough, since he actually needs to make himself more well-rounded, because he gets his Mawashi belt grabbed and gets flipped.
Yeah, he gets grappled and taken out. But I think, like, I actually enjoyed watching that because I was like, hey, here's two dudes just going at, just using technique on each other, and we get to see it. It's not just like static shots. There's a lot of good motion in it. So that's what I want from this series. I don't want the special moves. I don't want all that goofy like anime stuff.
Well, get ready when we go to the tournament, because all the big guys all have special moves.
Yeah, and the next episode is gonna feature Hinomaru at the training at the pro stable. So that's probably going to be like a lot of heavy special move stuff.
Yeah, because he has special moves, and he's only going to go up against guys with special moves.
Yeah.
If you don't have a special move, you're going to lose to Hinamaru.
Yeah. You need special takedown moves, or you're going to lose. And that's a little disappointing, because I like it without the special moves.
And they all respected Thickest Boy because he stopped a runaway tire with his body.
Yeah, one of the first years at the school they go to train and spar, loses control of a 150-pound tire that they're all just flipping, and it goes rolling, and Thickest Boy uses his thickest loins to stop the tire. And everyone's like, wow, that's actually pretty impressive. So we are seeing growth in our characters, which is kind of nice. It's just...
Yeah, Thickest Boy has made the most improvements.
Yeah. And I like it. But
and we didn't get to see the MMA dudes fight because they were stopped by a teacher because the other guy was not supposed to be on school premises.
He was trespassing, and the teacher's like, is that weird kid trespassing? And then they kind of have a moment where the trespasser is like, hey, at first I thought I was unlucky by meeting you, but now I think that was pretty lucky.
We'll have to have our match another time.
We'll have our match another time.
And yeah, that's about it for Hinamaru Sumu.
Yeah.
Sumu. Hinamaru Sumu.
Sumu.
The last show is Iraduku, The World in Colors.
I still like this show a lot.
In this episode, they have a dinner part. Not even dinner. It's like it goes into night, so I guess it's like a dinner party.
Yeah.
Where they all get together, and one of the girls is kind of shy.
Secondary
girl.
Girl.
Yes, secondary girl feels threatened by Hitomi because she feels like Hitomi's gonna steal the club president from her.
Yes.
Because she turns out she likes that guy. But she's not like a bitch about it as much as she's just sad about it.
Yeah. This is something that I feel they've been leading up to for a little bit. And it doesn't help that...
But good thing Kohaku Granny's there.
Yeah.
And she kind of sets things straight.
Yeah. Because Kohaku is probably going to be the main peacekeeper.
Yeah.
First, Hitomi makes some special star sand for Ai, and because he says that he hasn't been able to write because he draw because he just hasn't been feeling that muse. His muse is escaped.
So she wanted to make him the star sand, and she went through several attempts to do it because she's not great at magic.
And she basically uses up all of it, which does not make Kohaku's mother very happy.
And earlier in the episode, she had to run the store by herself, which I thought was very interesting because everyone refers to all the powders that they sell and the sand
by the color.
But she can't see color, so she kind of has to go by sort of number and description of what the product does, which is interesting.
I thought that was a good way to work around it, because when I heard that she was going to be running the store, I was like, oh, how's that going to work?
I've actually forgot about that. I was just, she's running the store. Oh, it's probably going to be because she doesn't know the prices and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can't see color, and she has to sell a bunch of colored powder.
Yeah. There's an older woman who comes in, and she's like, I'm looking for some of that red nostalgic dream powder. And she's like, okay. And she looks back at the shelf full of all the powders, and it just cuts to it all being gray. And it's like, oh, shit. But then she remembers that the Kohaku's mother was talking about batch 17 of the nostalgic dream powder. So she's like, and then I forget, someone comes in later and is like, oh yeah, just use the manual, just look it up in the catalog.
Yeah. And Grandma's also a good wingman, where she knows she wants to give Ai the powder, but she's too shy to just do it in front of everyone, so she comes up with an excuse. She just shouts to the group, hey, we're out of juice. Can you take Hitomi to the store and go get some?
And they do, and then they just, like, go somewhere and hang out for a little bit while she gives him the powder, and it's like, all right, but what about the juice? You guys aren't very good at doing errands.
Well, she knows that the juice is BS.
Yeah.
But, no, I think they get it, because they have, like, a shopping bag with them.
Oh, yeah, they get it. But then they just hang out at, like, an overlook for a little bit, because she has to give him her special powder.
And then when they go home, it turns out when she was making the sand, they went through all of their good product.
Yes, because high-quality ingredients have a higher chance of success. And
then they have to clean it.
Yeah. I'm a little unsure of how that works.
Yeah, how do you clean sand?
You just kind of like... it looks like they had big tubs with like big old coffee filters in it, and they were just scrubbing it in the coffee filters.
Yeah, I guess maybe you filter it.
No. Anyway, they had to clean it.
Yep.
And show class president, who secondary girl likes, she is like, hey, I'm going to make some postcards with my bunnies. Do you think you could help me?
And he's like, yeah. I could do that, totally. I still don't pick up on anything.
I'm clueless. Let's make some postcards.
I have no idea what's going on.
What's a postcard?
It sucks for that girl because I think he likes Hitomi because she showed him some magic while they were in the I don't know what you call it, but the room where basically I guess it's a do they call it a dark room?
The dark room.
Okay, they were in the dark room getting their pictures developed, and she showed him some magic, and he was like, "That's real cool.
That's rad," because it turns out doing magic gets you crazy laid.
Yeah. And at the end of the episode, Ai is at home, and he reads the little note she put in. It said, "Use the sand right before you go to sleep.
Make sure your lights are out."
And he did, and it created like this little sort of solar system around him. Yeah. And the fish that was in the original drawing, the goldfish, kind of swims around and swims into his tablet.
Yeah, and then it ends.
And he's just left dazed.
Yeah, he is astounded. He loves it.
Even though we've seen some weird shit happen with magic. Kohaku teleported them all when she came back to her school in England.
Well, I don't think she teleported them.
Well, she at least created the illusion of it.
Yeah.
Where
via a picture.
That's also that's a crazier illusion than what that was.
Yeah, it's definitely some higher level magic. But like, I don't know. I think he likes Hitomi doing magic.
Yeah.
And it gets her to do more magic, so.
Yep.
It is a means to an end.
Yeah.
But I like it. I like the art style still because it has a lot of
It has a lot of it's just pretty to look at.
Yeah, because, like, the people all look fairly standard.
Oh, yeah. And I mentioned this to you earlier. I like how people's outfits change.
Yeah, you said that, and then I watched it today, and I really noticed it. Because it looks like everyone has a different sense of style.
Yeah, they all have different fashion.
It makes the characters feel more real. Because, like, not everyone dresses in the same styles. Not everyone's in, like, slacks and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
But in this one, you've got Hitomi.
Like, I'm red t-shirt guy. I'm blue t-shirt guy. You know me. I'm sleeveless t-shirt guy.
Yeah. I'm the ruffian in the sleeveless t-shirt. But in this one, you get, like, Hitomi wears a pantsuit. And she's talking to Kohaku, who has, like, a skirt and leggings and, like, a sweatshirt. I believe Sho is the one who wears like that, just like a baggy sweatshirt, and it's a good detail.
Yeah, it's nice.
I like the show. It's very pretty. I like the drama elements. I think it's very solid. It's a good show.
And I look forward to seeing what happens next week now that she gave him that magic powder, if he reacts to that at all.
Me too. I want to see if it allows him, if it inspires him to draw more. Because basically she's like, if I do things for this guy I think is cute, he'll draw more and I'll be able to see more color.
I don't know if she even, like, is thinking to the point, like, thinks he's cute, because it seems like she, right now, is currently just thinking about seeing color.
Yeah.
Less of him as sort of a romantic interest.
More of a means to an end.
I don't know if it's that selfishly, though, where it's like, he's just a tool.
It's, hey, I want to see more pictures, so I should help this person.
Yeah.
Because she is a very kind-hearted person.
She's a nice girl.
I like Hitomi. I like all the characters. I like everyone. Except maybe photography girl with glasses. Glasses girl.
The side couple.
Yeah. Because her and youngest boy are just kind of like there most of the time.
Yeah. They're all right.
Yeah. So I think overall this has been a pretty solid week.
Yeah, last week was a heavy hitter week. This week, not as heavy, but not as bad. Like, week 2 was the most boring week so far.
Yeah, this one was more laid back.
This has been a good week.
It was a good week. So, if you like listening to the podcast and you want to listen to more episodes of the podcast, be sure to subscribe to our channel, like the videos, ring that bell. Make sure you ring that bell.
And if you want updates when we release new videos, maybe check out our Twitter.
Yeah, suck on
At the Protagonist Seat. Actually, no, it's just at Protagonist Seat.
At Protagonist Seat. Check it out. It's on Twitter. We post things.
And remember when we said something about Halloween videos? You know what's scarier than Halloween? November.
No, listening to Christmas music in November, that's scary.
November's pretty scary. That's a time I would rather see a scary video than October.
Yeah, because it hits you out of nowhere. You don't expect it.
Yeah, you expect to be scared in October, but November, you thought, okay, I'm safe now, and then boom, hit you.
And then boom, scares. Ah!
Anyway, we are Alex and Ian, and this is the Protagonist seat, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.